Hi there, this is Chris, Chap in the Cap Motor Legends. Today we're going to talk about the new for 2023 version of an adventure off-road pant from Klim. It's called the switchback pant. The switchback is a cargo-style, single-layer, well-vented off-road come adventure trouser. This is the latest iteration of the switchback, and we have to say that we're pretty excited. We really rated the old version, but strangely, when we came to place our order for 2023, we were told that the switchback had actually failed to pass the EN 17092 test, and therefore they wouldn't be able to supply it. Klim wouldn't be able to supply it. It turns out that not only was that not the case, but the new pant reaches the AA standard rather than the A standard of the previous version. The switchback is a fabulous pant in our view. We don't have anything else quite like it, and for some this is going to be the perfect riding trouser. So let's explain in a little bit more detail exactly what the switchback is. The switchback, as I mentioned already, is a single layer pant, and it's been designed very much with off-road and adventure riding in mind. As such, it wears quite loose, quite wide, which is what you'd expect of a trouser that's going to be worn over an adventure style boot. The fabric that the switchback pant is made of is a mix of cotton and cordura, and these days one has to admit that's not a particularly exotic combination. It does make, I feel, for quite a substantial pant, and certainly is somewhat heavier than its predecessor. But we're not particularly concerned by this because the old switchback always did feel a little bit on the flimsy side, especially when you were riding on the road. The armour that comes fitted in the switchbacks is D3O Ghost armour, and we get that in the hips and the knees. Interestingly, here on the knees it can be fitted and removed externally just behind this cargo pocket. But we're not always convinced that Ghost armour is the best thing in an off-road trouser. An off-road trouser will be a little bit wider, and Ghost is flat, and what concerns us is if you come off, if the trouser twists, the Ghost armour is not going to be protecting the knee, and therefore in an off-road trouser I think we marginally prefer an armour that cups the knee a little bit more fully. The pant is plentifully supplied with pockets, so we've got these two front pockets here, we've got two pockets at the rear, we've got a knife pocket here, which is a thing that Klim always feels important, and we've got these two large cargo pockets at the front of the trouser. Now this is what we here at Motor Legends term a proper off-road trouser, by which we mean that it doesn't have a waterproof membrane. And that's because when you're working hard off-road or you're riding somewhere really hot, the last thing you want anywhere near your skin is a waterproof membrane. A membrane will impede sweating, and sweating is the body's natural mechanism for cooling itself down. We sweat, the sweat comes to the surface as a liquid, it has to transfer into a gaseous form and escape, and that won't happen anywhere near as effectively if you've got a membrane. The other thing about a membrane is that it's going to block the air, the oncoming cooler air, from reaching the body. So in all circumstances, an off-road trouser in our view should not have a membrane. This pant therefore is going to flow a lot of air. Air's going to flow through the material because it's single layer, there's no lining with it, but you've also got these vents that run up the side of the cargo pockets on both sides obviously. Klim reckon that the zips at the hem that allow you to open the bottom of the trouser to get boots in will also allow some venting, but really we don't think so. The zips are not particularly tall, and once you've got a boot in there, you're not going to get any venting worth a jot. What we do really like at the bottom of the trouser, however, is the adjustment mechanism. It's an elasticated belt with poppers on it. It works really well, it's really effective. It's so clever, we're surprised that everyone else doesn't copy it. The switchback is a terrific pant. We were upset when we thought that they weren't coming through, so we are pleased that they are now here. Even though they're single layer, we would suggest that they're not really a substitute for riding in a pair of jeans. You couldn't wear these into the office. They're not chinos, they're not particularly smart. They're going to work really well on an adventure bike, but really that's about it. We do though think that these pants could work really well as the lower half with a Marrakesh. Now, obviously there is a Marrakesh pant, but it's a little bit off-roady. The switchbacks wear still quite loose, but I think you could wear these on the street without looking as though you'd just finished the Paris-Dakar rally. We would often recommend in the past that you wore a pair of Roka jeans as the most appropriate pant to go below a Marrakesh. And if most of your riding is on the road, I think that might still be our recommendation. You could also wear the Rokas if you were crossing a desert or if you were riding somewhere really hot and sweaty, but I think you would probably be better off in a pair of switchbacks. The switchbacks are comfortable, they look just right, they're highly breathable, they're protective. There's not a lot not to like, and indeed we do like them. They come in this colour, which is known as teak, and in a colour called asphalt. They're priced at £320. That's not cheap, but then again, Klim doesn't do cheap. If you'd like to see more Klim gear, visit the website motorlegends.com. If you'd like to learn more about the switchback in particular, then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you directly to the correct page on the website. Once you're there, you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, you can check out availability, and if you want to buy a pair, of course you can do that there and then. Now there's no delivery charge on any item of protective wear that you buy from us. Returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. We have the best price promise in the business. Now, John Lewis was rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold price promise. We go one stage better. If you can find anybody selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that retailer's price by a full 10%. Now, there are a few terms and conditions associated with our price beat, nothing particularly onerous, I can assure you, but if you are going to price beat us, I suggest you go over to the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in the future you'd like to see bulletins from us about new products, then if you go to the website, at the top of the page, there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there, within seconds you'll be in business. In future you'll receive our email bulletins. If, however, you would prefer to get your information videographically, that is to say in this form, we'd be simply delighted if you wanted to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Finally, I'd like to make mention of our fabulous little shop here at Motor Legends. We are based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station, and as I've suggested, the shop is small. It's got a small footprint, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £4 million worth of motorcycle merchandise arranged over 3 floors. And technically that makes this the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. But we think that we are far more than just the amount of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we'll serve you only the finest Italian illy coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And who knows, if you're lucky, you might even get to sample one of our delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. This has been Chris. Talk to you again soon.